What is up, people? Van from the Vaniverse Gaming channel here, bringing you another video. Today's video is going to be a beginner's guide gameplay video about Remnant From The Ashes. Remnant From The Ashes is a game that came out on PC back in October of 2019. It had a new DLC come out in April of 2020, and there's another DLC set to come out in August of 2020. When I first started playing this game, I realized a lot of the guides and videos were older, out of date, so I wanted to make a new set of guides and videos that are pretty much current with what's going on with the game today. So in today's video, I'm just going to go over the tutorial and basic information gameplay tips about the game, but I'm going to continue this series on through the end of the game and give you different tips depending on the different worlds, etc., etc. In addition, for people who are a little bit more less patient, I should say, I'll do different tips videos and different videos on specific topics about the game as well. I've put over 100 hours into this game, and I really love it, and I plan on making a lot of content on it. So hopefully you guys will stick around. Maybe if you're new to the channel, you can sub by clicking the icon in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you've always watched my content for Conan Exiles and other games, hopefully you'll stick around for all of this. So let's get started here. So basic UI, bottom left-hand side is your 4 action consumables, so basically items that you can use with a hotbar. On the bottom right, the red bar is your health, which I'm half dead right now currently, and the bar underneath that is your stamina, so as you dodge roll and as you sprint, you actually are going to run out of stamina. And it regains over time. Now, if you start sprinting, you don't have to hold down your sprint button. You're just going to continue to sprint until you stop, and then you'll go back to a walk, and your stamina will regen back. Top right-hand corner is your mini-map, and they're going to give us little tips as we get started here. So this first part is basically trying to go over some basics about the game. You don't even get a weapon in the beginning of the game. But right now it's showing you how to use a consumable. So if you go into your inventory by clicking I, you'll see this assigned to a quick select. If I hit X, this is where you put it on a hotkey so that you can use it right away. Otherwise, if you have items not hotkeyed, you actually have to come into your inventory and double click them or hit spacebar to use them. So in the middle of a fight, when you're in a screen like this, you don't stop. Combat's still going on. So it's very tragic if you're in a screen in your inventory trying to heal when you're getting attacked by 19 mobs, versus by having it on your quick bar. And there's different consumables depending on which area or which map you're on, so you can swap them out as you go on in the game. There's some items you just never need to add into your hotbar, and I'll go over that here in a bit. So we're going to drink this potion by hotbar button 1, and now you'll see I'm regenning health in the bottom right-hand corner. Now this game is nicknamed Gun Souls because it looks and plays a lot like Dark Souls, but with guns. However, in the tutorial, they don't even give you a gun to play with until way later on. So right now, we're just learning how to dodge and attack with a melee weapon. So this guy's coming in, and we're going to attack him. Now, with every other game, you have a dodge roll ability. There are iframes in this game, so that when you start to dodge roll, if something's swinging at you, you will dodge through it. It will not hit you because of the iframes. So similar to a Dark Souls. I will say that when you start an attack animation, you cannot dodge out of it, similar to Monster Hunter. So if you start attacking and then you dodge roll after the attack. You cannot dodge roll in order to stop an attack. So if you commit to attacking with a melee weapon and they commit to attacking you, unless you stagger them, you are going to take damage. The other thing to note is there are 3 different attacks with a melee weapon. You have a basic attack that you can combo. You have a heavy attack by holding down your left attack. And then on top of that, if you're sprinting, you have a stab attack. So there's different combos and attacks you can do with melee weapons. So we're going to come through here. I'm going to show you this. Every time I hit him, see how he's staggered? If he's staggered, he won't hurt me if I'm swinging at him, because I'm pushing him back every time. If I did not push him back with damage, he could absolutely hit me through my swing and do damage. But because we're doing a lot of damage and they have low health, we're staggering them. And the same thing happens to you. If you take a lot of consistent heavy damage, you will get staggered. Dodge out of that. We're going to sprint. We're going to stab him, knock him down, and he's dead. And now we're going to show you how you vault. Woohoo! So there is no jumping in the game. There's only vaulting or climbing up on stuff that's this high. Anything higher than this, you can't get up on it because there's no jumping. So that sound you just heard, that like bing sound or zing sound or whatever you want to say, that's how you know there's an elite that has entered the map. And so it's a good notification that you need to find the elite and kill him right away. I took a shot there from the back. Elites basically are stronger than the regular mobs, normal mobs in the game. And usually in a specific map, the elites you kill are actual bosses, dungeon bosses you can fight in the game. So you can kind of get an idea of what their mechanics are so that you fight them as a boss. So that's what elites do. Elites also drop a specific item called a luminite crystal. And luminite crystals are used to upgrade boss weapons, which we'll talk about a little bit later. This guy's going to throw. We're going to dodge roll back. So he was about to hit me right there with an attack, but because I hit him first and staggered him, he didn't get his attack off. If I didn't stagger him with that attack, I would have been screwed and I would have taken damage there. So now we're going to get to a cutscene. I'm going to let this play through. By all means, you can fast forward and skip it. And then we'll get into Ward 13, where the rest of the tutorial and some more tips and tricks will go on from there. Look at me. I'm like a boss. I don't think that dude's gonna make it though. I'm pretty sure he's dead. But did you see me go in there like a boss, hacking people up? And there we go. I love how you can change your hair and your beard, but not your eyebrows. You got dark brown eyebrows and a gray hair and a gray beard. Oh boy, took a hit. Took 2 hits. Getting dark. The walls are closing in. And there you go. So now we're in Ward 13, and there's this little boy who's creepy.
Hang in there.
We're being pulled into Ward 13. Then there's this creepy kid that's like waiting in our room for us when we wake up, which is weird. But we're going to skip through the dialogue and kind of get through some more information about the game, and then go from there.
Want to start bleeding again, do you? I'm Wallace. I wanted to see you. Oh, Commander Ford. Oh, Commander Ford and Mr. Rigg. But they said he's...
Sorry, kid, he didn't make it.
Commander said you should come see her when you woke up. Jeez, I'll see you later.
All right. So when you're in the tutorial, you cannot have people join your game. This game is great co-op, and the sad part is you have to get through the tutorial before you can get to join your game for someone else, or for you to join someone else's game. So that's why we're trying to crank through this here. You'll know because once you're finally through the tutorial, it'll come up and say this game can now be joined. You notice that I'm breaking boxes. Specific things like these metal shelves cannot be broken, but a lot of wood boxes are all over the place, and chairs and desks. And so try and hit things to see if they're breakable, because they give you scrap. Scrap is the main currency in this game. You need scrap to buy the consumables and to buy new weapons and armor that you don't have or don't find in the world, and also to upgrade your gear.
You put up quite a fight outside. It's with Riggs downstairs. I'm Commander Ford. It's my job to know the kind of people. We haven't seen a living soul on that You will tell me.
So it doesn't matter what dialogue choice you pick, you're still going to get to the same result. It's not like she's going to hate you and not talk to you or anything.
We had to block the...
So if you want to be a dick, you can.
But, I'll tell you what. You want to leave? First, we need... With enough power, we might... It's not... The reactor is on the lower basement level. Get it running, then... No. We already lost a man down there. If you... Go check in with Rick. I don't imagine... You do this for us.
Alright, so now we're going to go check into Riggs, and it's a waste of time because he's going to tell us just to go somewhere else. But Riggs is the guy that you upgrade all your gear with. He's also the guy that you buy other gear with that you don't already have.
Hey, it's good to see you on your... I did what I could to patch you up. Name's Wriggler. Well, the blade was shot. Think I remember 8... Well, last up. Good luck down there.
Okay, so now he's going to send us to the reactor in order to turn it on, and this is where we're going to get our first glimpse at using guns. So we're going to run through here, try and break some boxes, get some scrap. Oh, look at all this scrap. I even got a kick in there. Okay, and we'll come through here, punch a box. Need that scrap, need that scrap. Alright, and we're going to head down here. So this is where we're going to learn about gunplay. Down this way there's a secret, which if you've already watched a bunch of videos, you know what's down there, but we'll come back to that a little bit later on, probably in another episode. But now we're going to go meet her and pick our archetype, which we'll go into here in a second.
You nearly scared the life. You're not... Name's Ace. Ace, that right? So, well, it makes a lot of... Lucky for you. Just would have done it myself. But with the two of us, that... Okay, you go upstairs. You probably need a weapon, huh?
Okay, so here are the 3 archetypes. Now, if you watch any of the videos that were created when the game came out a couple months ago, or 10 months ago, I should say, everyone tells you to pick the ex-cultist because of there's 2 things that you cannot buy right when you start the game, and that is going to be the trait and the mod. So the trait is something that you earn in the game, and as you put more points into traits, you can put up to 20 points into it, they get stronger. And his particular trait is mod generation. So when you put a mod on a gun, as you fire it and do damage, it generates points. Once it gets to 100%, you now are able to use that mod, and in his particular case, it's a healing aura. He actually slams the ground, puts a circle on the ground, and if you stand within it, it heals you, regens health over time. So that healing Mender's aura and that trait, which is the mod generation, are only specific to the ex-cultist. If you don't pick them when you first start the game, you have to find them in the game somewhere else by completing events and bosses, etc. So a lot of people tell you to pick the ex-cultist solely because of his trait, which is called Spirit, and his mod, which is okay. Now, the other option is going to be picking the Hunter. The Hunter's trait is going to be Hunter's Mark, which is really, really good for new players because what it does, it basically highlights everything on the map that's nearby, any creature, orange for a short period of time. And it's really good for close quarters and new players because a lot of your deaths are going to come from stuff sneaking up behind you that you didn't know was there. So having Hunter's Mark really makes it nice to find the enemies before they know you're there and to kill them. In addition, his trait is actually going to be a awareness issue. So enemies have an awareness around them. So when you fire and you kill an enemy and there's other enemies nearby, they become aware and they attack you. The lower your enemy awareness is, the more you can kill enemies and not alert other enemies. So it's actually a really good trait, but it's not good until you put about 20 points into it or you really put some points into it. And that is why a lot of people don't choose the Hunter archetype right out of the gate. And the same with the Scrapper. The Scrapper is all based on melee. So the weapons and everything you get for him, like his trait is Warrior, which increases your melee damage. When you first start out the game, you don't want to be that close. You want to do a lot more long-range combat because a lot of this stuff in melee range, until you have better gear, better traits, and better mods, you're really going to get your butt kicked. So I just highly recommend you stay away from this class. Now, as I said, it's only the trait and the mod that is specific to each archetype. All the gear can be purchased right at the start of the game, right when you get out of the tutorial. Now, his mod, Hotshot, is probably one of the best mods in the game. It basically turns specific bullets of having a chance of setting something on fire and burning for additional damage. And so on like a machine gun type, having it proc is pretty great, and then that burn damage just melts bosses and elite characters. So we're going to pick the Cultist because that's what most people are going to suggest you pick, and because of the spirit trait, it's probably the best choice as a mod.
That should improve our odds. Get up there and
So right now we only have our weapons. We don't have any armor. We don't have our mod, and we got our spirit trait. And so basically this is going to show us how to do combat. We're going to go up and turn this on. Now when you are fighting against creatures, there's 3 different color numbers that you're going to see. You're going to see white, you're going to see yellow, and you're going to see red. Every creature has what they call a weak spot. And if you shoot it in the weak spot, it's going to do significantly more damage. It's like a hard crit. So right there, that 56 was a weak spot. If you see white damage, that's just a basic hit. And then if you see yellow damage, we did a critical shot, but we did not crit them in their weak spot. So like this guy, white, weak spot. White, weak spot. So I'm not really critting any of them. I'm either weak spotting them or doing regular damage. For every single one, it's been weak spot or regular damage. Now you'll see these different colored items on the ground where there's a light beam shooting out from the item. If you see yellow, that's going to be your scrap. If you see red, that's going to be long gun ammo. If you see white, that's going to be handgun ammo. If you see blue, that is not something that drops from mobs. It's actually something that you find on the ground throughout the game. That is a trait. So there's books throughout the game that give you trait points that go towards like spirit. So each trait can have 20 points in it. So if you find a book, that'll allow you to change your spirit trait from say 15 to 16. And then if you see something with a little purple light coming off of the top, that's an item. So it's either a ring or a piece of armor or a weapon that you have. The thing about that is say you already have that item. So say it's a purple and it's a ring you already have. Instead of giving you that ring again, it'll just give you scrap instead of the item itself. And then on top of that, when you kill elites, which we're going to see here in a second, hey, there was a crit yellow number. They also drop these things called luminite crystals. A luminite crystal only comes off of elite creatures, and it is used in order to upgrade boss weapons. So you just heard that zing sound again. That means there's an elite that's hit the ground. Right here he is. He's on fire. And so every time we kill an elite, we have a chance that he's going to drop a luminite crystal, which is right here. This is a luminite crystal. So that is used to upgrade boss weapons. Alright, I think we just got to kill the remaining roots and then we're done here. And so that's everything that will drop on the ground or you can pick up. The only thing I did not cover is a simulacrum, which looks similar to a luminite crystal. It's a little bit different, and we'll talk about what that does in the future. But other than that, if it's white, it's handgun ammo. If it's red, it's long gun ammo. If it's yellow, it's scrap. If it's green, it's a consumable that you can put on your bar. If it's blue, it's a book for trait points. If it's purple, it's a weapon, armor, ring, or amulet. If it's that glowy light blue thing, that's a luminite crystal. And I think I covered it all.
You best go check in with her. Come visit my shop sometime. I'll make sure to give you the...
Alright, so we're almost done with the tutorial. We just need to get out of here. We need to go into her shop. Vault off of here. You can take fall damage in this game, so the further you fall from, the more damage you take. So just keep that in mind. But we're good. We're getting out of here. Now, when it comes to ammo, when you're playing the game, you want to pick up ammo. Depending on everything about the game itself, you can run out of ammo very quickly if you're not doing enough damage or you're a terrible shot. And you can only refill your ammo 2 ways. Well, 3 ways.
Good to have some light around here.
You can refill it by picking it up off the ground from killing something. You can refill it by going to a checkpoint and refilling it that way. Or you can refill it with an ammo box.
Yes. Word moves fast. Listen, friend, oh, don't worry. Here. Not many people can keep this. An old friend. And if you... Ace has got... With that stone, because the rest of the... Oh, one more.
All right.
Good to see you.
So this guy just taught you a demon heart, and this is basically, I'm sorry, dragon heart. This is basically the same thing as an Estus flask from the Dark Souls, where it's a heal that you can use, and once you use it, it uses up a charge. And once you use up all the charges, you have to find a checkpoint, and once you get to a checkpoint, it'll replenish your charges. Later in the game, you can find specific items that allow you to increase the amount of dragon hearts that you have, but in the beginning, you only start with 3. Now, Reggie here, not only does he give you these dragon hearts to start out, he's also the one that sells you consumables, which we can see after we get out of the tutorial. And over here is Ace, who we helped out earlier, and she basically sells us crafting materials used to upgrade our weapons and armor to the higher gear scores, which we'll get into in a little bit. And she also sells luminite crystals as well to upgrade boss weapons, which are specific items that drop off of bosses that you use to create a boss weapon, which is different than a regular weapon.
Good to see a new face around here.
So we're all done. We need to go talk to Commander, and then I think we should be close to getting out of the tutorial here. So once we talk to the Commander, she'll probably send us back down to Riggs, and he'll probably outfit us with our actual full gear set that we need, and we'll also get our mod from the gal right next to him, who's kind of a bitch.
Glad to see you got... Then. Very well. You've proven yourself reliable, but I doubt you'll last long. Go see Riggs and come see me afterwards.
McCabe, that's her name. Okay, so we're going to go downstairs here. We're going to see Riggs and get our Cultist Armor set, and then we're going to see McCabe, and we're going to get our first mod.
Hey, friend. Ford mentioned we should... maybe we can put you... Oh.
So first he's going to teach you how to upgrade. Basically, this is about your gear score. The game is solely based on gear score. When you enter an area for the first time, the area is basically set on your gear score. So if you enter an area and you're gear score 2, all the creatures are going to be gear score 3, or they're going to be level 3. So leveling up your gear score is what dictates what you're going to be fighting. Your gear score also affects when you're doing a co-op game. So if I am gear score 7 and a buddy of mine is gear score 1 and he joins my game, everything's going to be gear score 7 and he's going to have a really, really hard time doing any damage. However, if I am gear score 7 and he's gear score 1 and I join his game, it's only going to up it a couple levels. I think it's like 3 levels. So if you're ever co-oping with somebody, it's always better to join the game of the person that has the lowest gear score. Now, when it comes to calculating gear score, it's based on a weighted average, which makes it very hard. Instead of being an average, it's a weighted average. So it takes the items with the highest gear score and gives them a higher weight, which you don't know what it is. But for the most part, if you have 1 or 2 items that are, +3 or +4 gear score, there's a good chance your gear score is going to be +3 or +4, even if all your other items are +1. And now what it does is it takes the weighted average of all of your armor and all of your weapons. And it doesn't matter if it's equipped or not. So if you have a gun that you have a gear score 10 and none of your other guns are gear score 10, that's still going to use 10 as your gear score. So just when you're playing the game, when you level up, try and level up the items you're using consistently all at the same time versus leveling up one item super high, because that's basically going to make everything much harder for you. And you can tell how hard stuff is by going to the advanced attributes and looking at this rating by zone. So when you come into your inventory and you are in here and you're under your character, you can hit R and it's going to tell me right now my weight is light. I have 27 armor. Here's my defenses against the 6 different types of elemental damage out there. But at the bottom here, it's going to tell me my rating versus zone. If you see this triangle, that basically means I'm even. That means the damage I'm doing and the damage I'm taking is on par with this zone, so it should be very moderate. If you see a double green arrow facing up, on either of these, that means that I'm stronger than the zone. I should be doing more damage and killing stuff quicker. If you see 2 red arrows facing down, that means that I'm under-leveled for this zone, and if it's offense, I'm not doing as much damage as I probably could, so I'm going to be using more ammo to kill stuff, and it's going to take me longer to kill things. If my defense is red arrows facing down, that basically means that I'm going to take more damage than I normally would, and so stuff could probably one-shot me if I'm not careful. So keeping an eye on what your rating versus zone is pretty darn important when you play the game and understanding how it works. So we're just going to upgrade this pistol here to a +1 just to get out of this wonderful tutorial. And now he's going to give us our Cultist Armor from the archetype we picked.
And take this. It's not the strongest.
Which I think is pretty cool. It looks like you're
protection than what you've
from the
got.
Wild Wild West. Get your little hat on, your little duster.
There you go. A bit sturdier. Every little bit counts out there.
There we go.
It's true. You did right. If you need McCabe over there, but you know, she's not.
Come on, Riggs. All right, so now you can see I got my Cultist Armor on. So this basically is a really good set because my damage generates more mod power, 50% more mod power. And on the top of that, I generate mod power slowly over time. So we're going to go get a mod from McCabe here. She's a real treat.
So you're the stray Ford was talking. We got plenty of mouths to feed without apparently taking out a few rooters, and Ford's gonna give my time to every stray who... I'm McCabe. I'm not some scrap peddler. Got it? It's the apocalypse. Let's see what we're dealing
not
with.
Nice.
This'll help keep you on. That's all you get. Get me more component? Now get out of here. Yeah.
Okay. So because we chose the Cultist archetype, we get the Mender's Aura. And it automatically slots it to your pistol. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to leave it on our pistol from now. But what you'll see is you'll notice that it's a gray circle and you're starting to see a white circle go around the outside. When that white circle gets fully around, a little white number is going to appear in a circle above it, similar to what your dragon heart looks like. And that's how I know I can use that mod. Now, you can see it's flashing. That is because of my Cultist set, because I'm generating mod power over time. Without the Cultist set, how you generate mod power is by doing damage. The more damage you do, the more mod power you generate. So if you're doing damage to creatures, you're gaining mod power so that you can use these mods. So we're going to just leave it tick away on there. Now we got to return up to Commander Ford. And I'm pretty sure once we do this,
Good to see you.
we're close to getting out of the
We
tutorial.
can't leave. He said we should only use... Well, considering you stuck... There's a term with any luck.
Okay. So now we're going to go down and we're going to unlock the terminal. This basically opens up the checkpoints. The checkpoint is how you get around the map. So you basically travel all around using checkpoints. And that's also how you get back to Ward 14. And checkpoints are also where you go to replenish all of your ammo, all of your health, and all of your dragon hearts. The one caveat is every time you use a checkpoint, whatever was on the map at the time will respawn. So if you kill a whole map and then you use a checkpoint, all of the creatures you killed will respawn. So just keep that in mind. It's very similar to Dark Souls when you use a bonfire. That's probably why they call it Gun Souls, because a lot of the aspects of the game is very similar to Dark Souls, where bosses are similar to Dark Souls, the Dragon Heart, the checkpoints, all of that. Very, very Dark Souls similar, so if you like Dark Souls, you're going to love this game most likely.
Isn't it? I'd read about it, but I never saw it working. This... You want to get out of my ground?
Okay.
He brought everyone.
All right, we got it. Let's go.
There's a room. If you want to reach...
All right, so now that we're here, we are going to activate the crystal. Once we activate this crystal, it should take us out of the tutorial. So you'll see it replenished all of my dragon hearts, it replenished my guns and ammo and all that. So we are out of the tutorial now. So now what I want to do is I want to give you my advice on which weapons you should use in the start of the game. So, like I told you before, when you pick the ex-cultist, you start with the coach gun. If you notice when I use the coach gun, I have to be really close up to them. It's a shotgun with 2 shots. It does a significant amount of damage, but it also requires to be close. Otherwise, the damage spreads and it doesn't do it near as much. Now that we're out of the tutorial, we can come to this guy here. And if we go up here and we switch to buy items, we can actually purchase items that other characters got to start with, including the armor and the weapons. This is the weapon I would suggest playing the game with, the hunting rifle. This has the best all-around weapon. It has 15 ammo, it can hold 15, it does 55 damage, it has great range. It's just a really good all-around weapon, and that's why I was breaking boxes to gain scrap through the tutorial, so that I can get to 600 so I can buy this.
Take care, my friend.
So I'm going to go break a couple more boxes just so I can get this thing, and then we will complete the next... We will go into the next episode of this and check out some more things about the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a like. Always leave your comments below and let me know what you think. And then hopefully you guys will stay tuned to the next episode where I'll be running around with a hunting rifle and we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the game. This is Van from the Vaniverse Gaming channel. Appreciate you guys watching. Cheers and peace out.